Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Now if this is your first time to this channel, then please press the subscribe button, please press that like, please press that bell icon so that you can be notified when there is a new video available. And leave a comment because we love to hear from you and anything that you'd like us to talk on specifically. Now today's video is all about understanding your habits. Oh, and hold up here, we have the mongooses are put in place. Seated two, and they are ready and waiting. So, let's start. Today's video is about understanding your habits. Now, for a lot of us, we don't really understand our habits. So we don't really understand why we do things. We just say, oh, it was just on the spur of the moment. We just did it out of reaction and instinct. Something, primed us. But that's not necessarily true, because many times we do things because we have done it repeatedly and it's become part of us. And a lot of us don't even question the things that we do. We may be in a conversation with somebody and somebody says something and we automatically reply back to them in a certain way. Only later on do we realize that maybe we shouldn't have said what we said in the way that we said it. And we live with that little bit of regret. And so we say to ourselves, okay, I won't do this again, and lo and behold, something similar happens again, and again we repeat the same thing. We have a habit of doing things that way. And it's important that we stop and examine ourselves in how we are reacting to things and why we are doing things. And it's important that we do stop and ask ourselves questions and we start to examine ourselves in the way that we do things, because a lot of us, in fact most of us, are wanting to be successful in life in what area that may be. But we won't be successful unless we are prepared to examine our habits. And our habits are formulated by our thinking, our thoughts, our mindset. And if we don't, and we are not prepared to take a careful look at how we are doing things, then we'll always be stuck in this loop, this cycle of repeating the same thing again in a different manner, but basically it's the same thing. So we really need to take stock of what we are really saying, and not just verbally but internally to ourselves, the habits that we have made to be part of us. For example, if we make a mistake, sometimes people say, oh, I'm so silly, I'm not clever. Or somebody asks us to do something, we come into the habit of saying, oh, I'm not clever, I'm not able to do that. And it might have originated simply because you made a mistake and you might have made it once or twice, or you wasn't clear on the process of doing something. And so you built into yourself the habit of self-doubt, the habit of putting yourself down, the habit of putting other people ahead of you, even though you are more than able and qualified to do a certain job or a skill. We have the habit of denying ourselves the success that is so richly deserved by us many times. And so we take the menial role, we take the secondary position, we take something that in some ways embarrasses even more, and so we put ourselves into this cycle of and habit of not doing the things that we should be doing. Instead of stopping and looking and saying, asking the questions, why am I doing this? Is it necessary for me to be doing this? And when we start to do that, we realize that it will be hard, because you're facing things and things about yourself that maybe you're not necessarily are wanting to face. But if you're prepared to take those little steps, take a notepad, pen and paper, any kind of electronic device, and sit down and start to question yourself, and how do you think? Why do you think this way? Do you automatically assume that whatever you will do is going to fail? Or do you assume that whatever you're going to do is going to be successful? And if you can start to ask and find out those questions and say, you know what, I understand why I am doing it this way. Let's see if I can alter that and change my viewpoint, my view and how these things are done. Because you might have just inherited it, you might have picked it up from somebody who was in a similar position and they taught you, or you picked it up from watching them. And by sitting down and looking at and asking yourself, why am I thinking this way? Why am I doing things this way? You may come to a realization that, you know what, there's something much better and I don't need to be doing it. And you discover that you have your own way and method of sorting things out and understanding that this habit I don't need to have, and you just remove it. And for some of us, removing those habits will be quite easy, and for some of us it may be a bit of a challenge and some things that need to be worked on. But it can be changed and altered if you are prepared to take the time and effort in looking at yourself very carefully. Now, having somebody to tell you from outside that these things are apparent is one thing, but when you start to do it yourself, and you can do it with the assistance of somebody else, but at the end of the day, you yourself are going to have to make those decisions and change your habits in what you do. You know, you may have a habit of not making your bed up first thing in the morning, and when you get home you feel the frustration of having a messy bed. But if you make the habit of getting up in the morning, making your bed up so your bed's nice and tidy, doing those things, you'll start to feel like, you know what, I've accomplished something. Something is done, it's out of the way, I don't need to worry about it. So you remove that stress level alone straight away. It's down to you in how and what you want. Create those habits. They may be small habits, but create those small habits that will bring you the satisfaction, success, that will free you to do what you need to do. Don't be bound by habits that are tearing you down, that is holding you back. Be prepared to ask all those awkward questions, examine those things that are not working for you, and that you're just doing it out of sheer habit, just sheer, well, it's easy enough to do, I don't need to do anything else. Stop and question yourself. Don't do things for the sake of doing it and then complain that your life has no meaning. Break those habits, examine those things, understand, and take that time to really look at yourself. And you don't need to make it all serious. It can be something that is enjoyable, you know. So I hope this video has been of help to you, and if I can be of help, then please contact us. Until next time, take care now. Bye bye.